Woodland Bowl in Indianapolis has played host to many major PBA events. This week, it's a Fall Tour Classic as 5 players vie for the National Finance Challenge Championship. The opening stop on the PBA Fall Tour was in Virginia Beach. In the National Finance Championship, Walter Ray Williams Jr. led the event and would battle Brian Voss in the title match. Williams and Voss put on quite a show, with Voss coming out on top. For Voss, it was his 20th career championship, joining an elite group of players that have won 20 or more titles. And for Voss, the win puts him into tonight's National Finance Challenge match. For Walter Ray Williams Jr., he's looking for 1 win tonight and a rematch with Voss. The Pro Bowler Tour makes a return visit to Indianapolis here at Woodland Bowl, the 5th of 8 ESPN Fall Tour PBA telecast. And what an outstanding finals field we have for you here in the National Finance Challenge. In match 1, 3 players will square off. Our 5th-seeded player, 1991 Rookie of the Year, Ricky Ward. Number 4 qualifier, Dave Wodka, in search of his first PBA win. In the number 3 spot, Eric Forkel, a 4-time champion. Those 3 players will roll 1 game. The winner moves on to our semifinal match to take on Amleto Monacelli. And then the winner to face our tournament leader, Walter Ray Williams Jr. And the winner of the tournament will then go up against Brian Voss in a winner-take-all challenge match. Voss won the National Finance Championship earlier this year at Virginia Beach. Great to have you by for the next 90 minutes or so here for this special presentation of the Pro Bowlers Tour on ESPN. Hi, everyone. I'm Phil Ferguson. The Fall Tour, one word, electrifying. Speaking of electrifying, my partner, Marshall Holman. And Marshall, when you talk about an outstanding finals field of 5 that we have today, but you have to take a look at the top 2 players, 46 PBA titles, Walter Ray 28, Amleto Monacelli 18.
Well, it's going to be tough to beat those 2 guys. And, you know, 1998 has really been all about momentum. It was Pete Weber early in the year who was able to get going in the winter tour. Then it was Parker Bone III who dominated the tour in the spring and summer segments. Now, Amleto Monacelli in the fall has bowled in just 3 of the 5 scheduled tournaments. He's got a 2nd place finish, and he's got a 3rd place finish and a 5th place finish, excuse me. He's seeded number 2 here today. But what Amleto has done pales in comparison to the once again top seeded Walter Ray Williams Jr. And Walter is going after his 2nd win in as many weeks, his 3rd win of the fall tour and his 5th of 1998. And Walter is chasing an elusive 3 Player of the Year awards in a row. He has the opportunity with Win Hitter Night to almost sew it up unless Parker Bone III can come back in the Tournament of Champions in a couple weeks and win that event. The other thing that he's going for is a chance for a little redemption, some revenge against Brian Voss. Brian beat him 265-257 in the National Finance Championship in Virginia Beach. He wants to get him in that challenge match. We'll see if he can win the match and then take on Brian. Back to you, Phil.
All right, thanks a lot, Marshall. Once again, we've come here to Woodland Bowl many, many years here in Indianapolis. Jim Doty and his crew always put on a great tournament. It is the National Finance Challenge. Once again, 3 players in this opening match. A little bit different, and the winner will then advance to face our number 2-seeded qualifier, Amleto Monacelli, Eric Forkel, 38 years of age. He's been out here a while, 14 years. And he draws the assignment of throwing the first ball here in the tournament. Cashed in 14 of 21 tournaments this year. And a 7-pin.
Well, a great opening shot for Eric Forkel.
Dave Wodka looking for his first PBA title. He has 1 regional title. A little bit high, leaving the 3-6-10. Once again, the action should be moving pretty briskly.
It's going to move real fast, Phil. Eric Forkel going with the hard ball, straight at the 7-pin, and no problem for the veteran.
Wodka tries to convert.
Tough spare. Takes care of it.
Now we'll get a look at another lefty, Ricky Ward. In fact, if I'm not mistaken, here on the Fall Tour, the first time a left-hander or 2 made the show.
First time we've seen a lefty on our telecast, and Ricky Ward's got ice water running through his veins.
On the Fall telecast, and leave just one.
Take a look at the light hit from Ricky Ward. Splatters him around a little bit, but the 9-pin stands firm as Eric Forkel up in his second frame.
He hung around the top 10 all week long. Makes the spare for Ricky Ward. As Dave Wodka now steps up on the approach for Wodka. Made one other show, finished fourth in the Brunswick Johnny Petraglia Open in North Brunswick, New Jersey, earlier this year.
And certainly a talented player. Dave Wodka needs to let his emotions allow him to make the good shots. Take a look at the carry from Dave Wodka.
Jeez.
Ricky Ward from North Fort Myers, Florida, nicknamed Barney Rubble.
I like to call him Ice Water because when he bowls, he's very, very cool, at least outwardly cool.
Cashed in 10 of 17 events this year. Able to pick up the spare. So Ward starts off the match with 2 spares. The other 2 players in this opening match, Eric Forkel and Dave Wodka. Spare strikes, so they're on top by a couple of pins. Still very early in this opening match.
With a strike here for a 10-pin lead. And the ball comes in high. He leaves the 6, the 7, and the 10. Take a look at Eric Forkel. As he releases the ball, he closes his eyes. And Phil, the reason he does that is so he can relax himself and not think so much about the target. Just let the shot go. A tip from Bill Taylor.
Interesting.
One of the great coaches.
Wodka.
Fortunate not to leave the split. If he comes in high on lane 72.
So Forkel with the big split in the 3rd frame. 6, 7, 10. Gave it a shot. Not to be. So kind of the players kind of feeling each other out here. Nobody's able to take command.
Well, no doubles as yet as Dave Wodka takes care of the 4-7 on lane 72.
Ricky Ward, first TV appearance on the fall tour, 5th overall. He started off 33rd, then made his way up the ladder. Pocket 7-10.
And a terrible break for Ricky Ward as he made a very good shot. Ball hits in the pocket, but the pocket 7-10 is no more than just a half pocket 7 with the 10-pin standing. The 5-pin went behind.
So Dave Wodka has the early lead here in the National Finance Challenge, and we will be back with more of this opening match in a minute. And we're back, and the scoreboard. Dave Wodka out in front early.
Got 15 lead over Ricky Ward and a 14-pin lead over Eric Forkel, who's up on lane 72.
Able to kick out most of them, but leaves the 10-pin.
All right. Not bad.
Eric Forkel wearing the wireless mic. You'll be hearing him make comments on his shots as the game progresses.
So Wodka, your leader here in the first match. Beautiful shot by Wodka in the 4th frame.
And some emotion from Dave Wodka.
Wodka, love to win here, would qualify him for the Brunswick Tournament of Champions in a couple of weeks. As Forkel picks up the 10-pin.
Take a look at Wodka's strike ball. Just a beautiful shot. Got it right high in the pocket, just where he wants it. The great reaction.
Ricky Ward, a couple of spares, and then a split. He opened in the 3rd, 4th frame.
Well, he opened in the 3rd frame, but it was a very, very good shot. The unfortunate pocket 7-10. This time, ball a little higher in the pocket, takes care of all the pins. Eric Forkel working on a spare. I'm sure he feels the pressure now, needing to strike here.
Making his 2nd TV appearance of the year.
And the same lane he made the bad shot on in the previous time. This time makes a good shot. Just a little high. Leaves the 6 pin and the 8 pin. Still a little bit higher. That ball probably strikes. A little bit lighter it strikes.
Wodka, boy, had trouble out the gate. 67 after the first round.
There's the power of David Wodka. You take a look. Eric needs to get the ball in here and slide it over. Oh, and just overcuts it.
Just missed it, so an open for Forkel, and he has 2 opens through 5 frames. Dave Wodka, your early leader. Wodka leads Ward by 25, Forkel by 38. Ward up in the 5th.
And the same fate that Eric Forkel just had. The 6 and the 8.
TV. You can't say that.
That's right, Ricky. You're on TV.
A lot of these players mic'd, and you never went that route when you bowled too much, did you?
No, my last tournament I did wear the mic, and it was a victory as he goes for the 6-8, and just exactly what Eric Forkel did. Right now, Dave Wodka really in the big driver's seat. He's 39 up on Ward. He's 38 up on Forkel.
Yeah. Wodka right now driving the bus through 5 frames. Eric Forkel in the 6th frame. And I still can't believe he closes his eyes right when he throws the ball.
Looks like he might have kept them open that time, but he won't like what he sees there with the 3 pin standing.
Forkel's won 2 titles. Excuse me, 4 national titles. First couple of titles he won back in 1992 as Wodka now comes up in the 6th.
Hurry up. And fortunate. The ball was right off the hand, left the 2 pin. At this point in the match, he's pleased just to have that 2 pin staring him in the face.
Forkel picks up the spare. Has some work to do, though, if he wants to get back in the match. It's Dave Wodka in control as Wodka converts. Once again, 3 players in this opening match. The winner will then move on to face our number 2 seeded qualifier, Amleto Monacelli, and at top, Walter Ray Williams, Jr. Right on the nose.
And
a lot of players just looking like they're just not quite sure.
Well, a lot of times, Phil, what happens is when you have trouble carrying, when you're hitting the pocket and you're not striking, you force the ball. And right now, it looks like both the left-handers are kind of forcing the ball and trying to make it work, and you just can't do it.
Crowd getting into it, trying to boost the bowlers a bit. Forkel up in the 7th. Much better shot.
Wodka, in my estimation, was the underdog starting this match. Forkel has experience. Ricky Ward has shown himself very, very credible bowling on television, and Wodka, the only player without a victory. So I've been wrong before. It looks like I could be wrong again. Is this another 2 pin?
So Wodka will have the easy spare now, as he was able to kick out the 8 pin, leaving just the 2 with Ricky Ward up. A little bit more aggressive on that shot by Ricky Ward.
And the lefties are following each other. 6-8, 6-8, strike, strike. Another spare for Dave Wodka.
We're here in the National Finance Challenge, the Woodland Bowl in Indianapolis. We'll be back with more. Now, time for Dexter. Footwork of the pros.
So you can see Eric Forkel with a basic 4-step approach. Now he starts his push away a little late. He has a very upright approach. He's very solid at the foul line, and the swing stays tight to his body, and that's what makes him such a very, very good shot maker.
Alrighty, that's Dexter's footwork of the pros. Eric Forkel down by 36. Ricky Ward by 37 to Dave Wodka. Forkel has earned about $40,000 this year.
That's a huge shot. Really needs it. Get him back in the match. Ball light. The 3, the 5, and the 6. No pressure applied to Dave Wodka with the strike by Forkel.
Dave Wodka with a strike, and again, first time for the left-handers out here on the fall tour, and then just like that 1-2, they may be gone.
Well, it's not a done deal yet, but it's looking very, very tough. Hang on, and look at that. If there's a bad break to be had, Eric Forkel's had him.
Okay.
All you can do is just kind of smile. And you know, Eric Forkel was one shot away from leading this tournament last night, Phil. He bowled Walter Ray Williams for the title. We take a look at this ball, just chopping the 3-pin right off the 5, and
Ricky Ward in the 8th frame.
Now Ricky Ward's not giving up yet. Ricky Ward, possible 211 game. Dave Wodka right now working on 208. Still a chance.
Forkel.
Right now. Excuse me, right now Forkel, the best he can do is 180, and
little fortunate there.
Well, he was fortunate there, but he's had so many bad breaks this game. He was owed one. But take a look, the ball crosses over, and he gets the friendly trip to the 4-pin. Looks like a right-handed shot. No, he wasn't too pleased with this shot, but okay, I'll take it.
A wry smile. Wodka.
Bad shot in the 9th frame, and I guarantee you, he knew the importance of that ball. With a strike there, it would have set it up, and all he would have needed was a mark in the 10th frame. Now, if Ricky Ward can strike here on lane 71, it's really going to put the pressure squarely on Wodka's shoulders.
Ward with 3 national titles. Yeah, count it.
Well, I just want to call him ice water. I don't, you call him Barney Rubble, I'll call him ice water, as Dave Wodka needs this spare. It's got a hook. There's the door, wide open for Ricky Ward.
Boy, that ball slid. And so Wodka 176 in the 9th. Ricky Ward down by
just 5 pins.
Right back in the match.
So you can take a look. With that open frame, Dave Wodka really makes it easier for Ricky Ward. Right now, Ricky with a chance for a 211. Dave Wodka, best he can do is 196. He has the lead now, but Ricky Ward's got the hammer.
Eric Forkel in the 10th.
Another 6-8. Well, he knocks
another 6-8.
Knocks the 8 out of it.
Forkel high game this week, 266, low of 183. TV average at 212. Not going to get there this afternoon. Wodka in the 10th.
He cannot shut out Ward. Get a lucky break there. Almost knocks out the 2-pin. With a spare here and pin count. Ricky Ward would need to strike the first ball in the 10th.
Forkel picks up the spare. So it's between Ricky Ward and Dave Wodka here in the opening.
All that work for 160.
Match. Wodka now can get 196.
And he's got to be disgusted with himself to miss that spare in the 9th frame and to really open the door wide open. Eric Forkel with a nice smile, and I'll tell you, it's too hard to make a telecast to see the breaks that he had go his way, but
all right. Crowd, big cheer for Forkel. Wodka.
Okay.
He finishes with 160. And Wodka finishes with a great shot. Take a look at some unusual pinfall. Looks like the 7's not going anywhere, and a friend from behind.
Ricky Ward needs a strike.
Chance for Ricky Ward with a strike here. And David Wodka is a very fortunate young man right now. He is your winner. Ricky Ward made a good shot, Phil, but a little high. He leaves the 6-pin.
Wodka opened in the 9th. Didn't hurt him. He ended up winning the match and will take on one of the game's great players, Amleto Monacelli, and a player on top by the name of Walter Ray Williams, Jr. And a little bit interesting this week, the winner of this tournament then goes into our national Finance Challenge match against Brian Voss, who won earlier this year in Virginia Beach. Ricky Ward finishing it out, can shoot 190, but still going to fall a few sticks short of that 196 posted by Dave Wodka. So Dave Wodka is your winner. He will move on. We're at Woodland Bowl in Indianapolis, and now a word from the Professional Bowlers Association.
Speaking of fun, we're going to have a match with just the standard 2 players. Amleto Monacelli will be bowling against Dave Wodka. And Dave, don't you be making any mistakes against the great Amleto Monacelli. He'll make you pay for it.
Wodka will start, and Dave had his picture taken with Marshall Holman when he was 10. Still has it. Maybe a little yellow on the edges, but still has it with him.
The picture or me?
Yeah. Wodka will throw the opening shot here in match 2.
Maybe somebody is watching after Dave Wodka. A little divine intervention. We'll take a look. We'll have the 1, 2, 4, 6, 10, but somebody's coming to knock down the 4 and the 2 and the 1.
Leaves him with a relatively easy 10-pin spare, so
I'll put a smile on your face.
Wodka, after winning match 1, again going up against Amleto Monacelli, winner of 18 PBA titles, 37 years of age. He's been out here 16 years from Barquisimeto, Venezuela. He's had a great fall tour. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he's been in our top 5 in all 3 tournaments that he's bowled in. A 3rd place finish, a 5th place finish, and a great shot from Amleto Monacelli. Look how close that ball comes to the channel, hooks back in, and just destroys the 5-pin right into the 7.
7-pin wanted to stay, and then said no. So Monacelli trying to get out the gate with a double early. Cashing 13 of 18 events, made the top 24 12 times. What a great year for Amleto. Brooklyn.
And about as poor a shot as you're going to see Amleto throw. Maybe it didn't get off his hand quite the way he wanted it. But very little emotion. He knows it's early in the game, and he leaves nothing but the 9-pin.
Marshall told me, Amleto told me before the match that he really is keen on his physical game, and it really has helped him mentally, too.
Well, he works out. He takes care of his body. He's certainly in better aerobic strength and shape than any bowler on our tour. And it is good for your mind. When the body's healthy, the mind will respond.
Wodka in the 2nd frame. Defeated Amleto 206 to 165 in match play this week.
Boy, he really snapped that ball hard. You can see it at the bottom of the swing. He really put the fingers and wrist into that ball, and the ball never did slide down the lane, going through the heart and leaving the 3, 6, and 10. Now, this is the same spare, and this is the same lane that he missed. You got to put the ball in between the 3 and the 6. Can you make it this time? And this time he pulls it. He gets a good break, knocking the 10 out, but he leaves the 6. And
well, he's had some trouble since the 9th frame of game 1.
well, he had problems when he first came out on tour. He wasn't a very good spare shooter. He has, for the most part, worked that out, but tonight it's cropping up on him again, and the 3, 6, 10 he's missed twice.
Just 27 years old, another good-looking young player out here on tour, and the 2-pin stands.
All right, the last game pretty much in the pocket, and now kind of lost. I know his wife Lori is watching, and Dave wanted me to say hi, and I'm sure he'll be saying hi later tonight.
Able to pick up the spare.
Take a look at a little different angle from overhead. Dave Wodka, you can see the foot perpendicular with the foul line, the good follow through, and covers the relatively easy 2-pin.
Monacelli sending it out. Here it comes, and he got it.
But Phil, it should be a fairly interesting shot to see what Amleto does on lane 71. He made a poor shot in the 2nd frame. He was given a gift when Wodka missed the 3, 6, 10. Now he has the opportunity to take a 14-pin lead and turn it into 24 with a strike here in the 4th frame.
Monacelli has not won this year. Finished 2nd in Las Vegas. A couple of 3rd-place finishes and a 5th-place finish in the Brunswick Long Island Open in Coram, New York. Looking for his 19th PBA win.
Oh, my God. There's an adjustment for you.
Got a little chilly outside for Amleto.
That ball went well to the right. That's all the way to the 2nd board, and it's not going to hook back. There's more oil this week on the outside of the lane, and the ball will not track back. That's the 1, the 2, and the 7. And a fairly difficult spare. Anytime there are a lot of different ways to miss a spare, it's a tough spare, and there are many ways to miss this. He needs to fit it between the 1 and the... No, he went for the pocket. He went for the strike line.
And was able to pick up the spare. So Amleto Monacelli with the early lead here in match 2, and we'll continue in a minute. Match 2 here in the National Finance Challenge, and Dave Wodka. A win, and he qualifies for the Brunswick Tournament of Champions in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, made a great shot. Did not get the messenger to come back and take out the 10-pin. Leaves nothing but the 10. Let's hope he can pick this one up as we take a look at the ball entering the pins. Watch the head pin as it tries to come back, but it just goes behind it.
Picks up the spare, and currently 57 eligible players for 59 spots, meaning right now no player on the bubble for the TFC.
That's correct. And right now, if I'm Walter Ray Williams Jr., I'm just licking my chops. This is nobody really getting lined in. Amleto is the player with the experience. But Dave Wodka, after 4 frames of not a lot of great shot making, only 15 pins down, still very much in the match, but that's got to hurry.
Catching the oil and not able to bring it back. Wodka.
Ball just goes so far to the right, and even with the energy that Wodka puts on the ball, not able to get the ball to come back up to the pocket. The 1, 2, the 4, and the 8.
He's a bit confused right now, but still plenty of time. Able to convert. So he picks up the 1, 2, 4, 8. Amleto Monacelli took on Walter Ray Williams last week.
Walter the victor.
Monacelli up in the 5th. Oh, that's a pure shot. He likes that lane.
He's having no trouble on lane 72. He'd certainly like to figure out how to hit 71. If he can find lane 71 and build some confidence on it, Phil, he could give Walter Ray a very, very tough match.
Monacelli, the only international player to be inducted into the PBA Hall of Fame, and that was a couple years ago, 1997. Just a great player.
Well, he's getting closer, and, you know, unless Dave Wodka puts some pressure on him, if Amleto Monacelli can continue to fill frames, he very well may find himself bowling in the next match.
Monacelli defeated Wodka 258 to 188 in the position round. And that was a big win.
Oh, huge. Kept him out of that shootout format.
And he picks it up. Monacelli told me he didn't realize how close he was to Walter Ray on top. Had a chance to overtake Walter Ray.
There's Amleto Monacelli. You can see the way he really unleashes through the ball. He makes the spare. And now's the time for Dave Wodka to apply a little pressure. And look at that. There's the 3, 6, 9, 10 on the right-hand side of the lane. And it's got the 4, 7 as company.
And Marshall, let's take a look at Dexter footwork of the pros.
Well, Dave Wodka's got a short first step. He walks heel-toe to the line. Now he drifts about 10 boards to the left, and that helps him to get his hand to the side of the ball. And he's got a devastating strike ball, but boy, you need to hit a little better than that.
And that is Dexter's footwork of the pros, and open for Wodka in the 6th frame. Wodka's had some problems on television. Career 1-4 with an average of just 186 in 4 appearances. Once again looking for his very first PBA win.
And the more you struggle on television, the more that it gets into your psyche and it becomes difficult.
He's got to get it going now.
Now, he's got a chance at, I believe, 203. Now we'll make it 193, and right now Amleto Monacelli spare strike for 200. I'm not sure he was real pleased with the way this ball got off his hand. He's hoping it'll carry right now, and there's the flat 10.
Throwing it hard at it, and picks it up in the 7th frame. Amleto Monacelli up by 37. We'll be back with more in a minute. Another very successful tournament this week. Monacelli in the 7th frame, match 2.
Now that's his good lane, or should we say was his good lane. There's the 2, the 4, and the 10. Take a look at the ball just coming in light. Head pin goes around the 2 and the 4 and comes in behind. The 6 pin lays in the channel.
Oh, nice try. Still leaves the 10 pin standing and open in the 7th. Leads by 23 over Dave Wodka. The winner of this game will take on Walter Ray Williams Jr., our tournament leader, and we still have the challenge match to come.
Right, and boy, Amleto not pleased, giving 14 pins of his lead away with that errant shot, and now it once again becomes anybody's game.
Amleto's 5th TV appearance this year. He made 4 televised appearances last year. He won twice.
Well, that was the tough lane for Amleto. He left the 4 pin the previous time on 71. Solid strike in the 8th.
Wodka working on a spare up in the 8th frame.
Amleto working at 186. Wodka can take it out to 193. But he is one lost puppy right now. 3-6-10 once again. He shot it twice on that lane. He's missed it twice on that lane. And a ball that just was left off of his hand. Had nowhere to go but through the nose. Fortunate not to leave a split. It's the 3rd time a charm for the 3-6-10. He makes it. Don't count yourself out yet, Dave. You still have a chance. Down 26 pins, 2 frames to go.
So Amleto Monacelli up here in match 2, 26 pin lead. However, Monacelli working on a strike and Wodka on a spare. High game this week, 297, and a low game of 169.
He's threatening to bowl a lower game, but he'd love to strike here in the 9th. Come on. There we see the Brunswick Pro pins, 4 pounds, or excuse me, 3 pounds 10 ounces, as opposed to the normal 3 pounds 6 ounces. 4 extra ounces of weight.
That may have helped him.
Well, it makes it more difficult to knock those pins over. When the pin rolls in, it's a little bit sturdier, a little bit tougher.
Wodka picks up the spare. Monacelli in the 9th frame, averaging about 219, a little over 219 on this television pair, 3 games. And he's closing in on Brian Voss, number 5, and Marshall Holman, number 4, for career earnings.
Well, he can just go right past me. That's fine.
We better show that up there pretty soon, because you won't be up there for much longer. Oh, and he gets it to go. A double for Monacelli, setting him up now in the 10th frame.
Now that shot right there really gives Monacelli the win and gives him a chance, as you saw him kind of take a little bit of an exhale after he saw all the pins fall over.
289.
Just trying to stay lined in.
For the high game this week. Needs 5 pins to win the match. And that's 5 and a couple of more. So Amleto Monacelli is the winner of match 2. And he will now take on Walter Ray Williams Jr. in the title match of the National Finance Challenge. Back with that match coming up in a minute. We're in Indianapolis at Woodland Bowl. Well, you want to improve your game? Let's talk about sliding to the line tonight. Here's my partner, Marshall Holman, with another Score More with Brunswick tip.
The long slide, the short slide, no slide. Athletes in every sport have different techniques, and bowling is no exception. Now, one technique that varies dramatically among bowlers is the slide and the length of their slide. Let's take a look at two ends of the spectrum. Here's Michael Haugen Jr. Now watch as he throws the ball. He has almost no slide. In fact, he even wears tennis shoes to inhibit the sliding motion. Now I, on the other hand, have a very long slide, which is something I developed over time. So what is right, and what do Michael and I and other good bowlers have in common? Take a look at, as I keep my body in good position, the last step, the sliding step, actually comes in underneath my body in order to give myself proper balance at the line. So what is right for you? Well, for Michael Haugen, it's a short or no slide. For Marshall Holman, a very long slide. What you have to determine is what works best for you, and be aware of your sliding motion. Remember, it's every bit as important to have a good finishing step as it is to have the proper early approach and release.
All right, thanks a lot, Marshall. There's the final score of our second match. Amleto Monacelli, an easy winner over Dave Wodka, 192 to 157. It will be Monacelli going up against Walter Ray Williams Jr. in the title match in a minute. Our championship match coming up next, but first of all, let's go and try to find Marshall Holman. Where is he? Oh, there he is, Marshall.
Thank you, Phil. I'm with Brian Voss. Brian, you've got one game to bowl by virtue of winning the National Champion Finance in Virginia Beach. You have a preference? Walter, Amleto, both pretty tough.
I don't care who I bowl. I think some of the fans back home might want a rematch between Walter and myself, but I like both guys.
Lanes look pretty tough right now. Got a game plan?
Looks like they burned the heads up a little bit inside. I might just move on outside where Walter's playing.
All right, Brian. Good luck to you. Phil, back up to you.
All right, thanks a lot, Marshall. And we'll have to wait for the challenge match, because first things first, and this is the title match of the National Finance Challenge. Amleto Monacelli going up against Walter Ray Williams Jr. and Deadeye, has his eyes, sights set on another title. Strike. It looks like Walter moved outside a little bit and starts off the title match with a ringer.
And Walter's able to play the lanes more comfortably for him, staying outside, throwing the ball in a straighter trajectory.
Monacelli, first shot here in the title match. And he strikes. Wasn't too long ago these two met. In fact, it was last week. And Walter Ray defeated Amleto Monacelli. So Walter Ray looking to become the first player in a while to win back-to-back titles. Parker Bone did it early '97, early last year in the Showboat Invitational, also the AC Delco Classic. Monacelli, nice match play record, 17-7.
Two hottest bowlers on tour this fall. Oh, and a late 10-pin for Monacelli. Watch as the headpin goes to the sideboard and comes back and takes out the 10-pin, albeit a little late. Just enough. Walter Ray to answer back for a double of his own.
Able to kick out the 10, but the 7 stands.
Same shot that Monacelli threw. The 7 does not fall over, but fortunately the 10 does.
Blows in the thumb hole a little bit.
Which makes it a little bit tacky, helps him hang on to the ball. Walter Ray won this tournament back in 1994. In fact, no problem for Deadeye with the spare. Walter beat our stat man, Butch Soper, right here, 1994 in the Touring Players Classic.
Has cashed in 17 out of 23 events. 16 times he's made it into the top 24. So Walter Ray working on a spare. Amleto Monacelli out the gate with a double.
Little extra loft. Walter got that ball further out on the lane, and he also gave it a little more fingers. Fortunate just to leave the 9 pin as he trips the 4. Watch, you'll see the 4 pin as it trips out, second from the left.
And picks up the spare in the 3rd frame. Monacelli trying to get even. After Walter Ray beat him last week, Monacelli up in the 3rd frame. Back-to-back PBA Player of the Year honors for Amleto in 1989 and 1990.
And he's got a 3-bagger. And he said the main goal is to win the Tournament of Champions. I think every player's dream out here is to win the Tournament of Champions, and that's coming up in a couple of weeks.
Right now, Amleto's dreaming about taking Walter Ray Williams and giving him his 31st second-place finish. You can see Amleto, pretty nice credentials of his own, 2-time PBA Player of the Year. Walter Ray trying to make it 3 in a row, and boy, what a great fall he's had. Amleto for the 4th consecutive strike to open up the championship match.
And I don't know if I should say it, but $25,000 extra for 300, so I said it.
There you go.
Got it out. Sorry.
Well, that's Amleto Monacelli, who threw the ball too far to the right, didn't get it back. In order to make this spare, needs to get the ball to the left side of that 2-pin. Knock it into the 10. It's a makeable split.
Averaging 221 plus this year.
Oh. And he misses both of them. By virtue of that, he throws away 2 more pins, and now his lead, only 5 pins.
Funny,
he knows it's close. Okay, but for Amleto, it's over. Forget about it. Walter Ray up on lane 72.
Walter Ray coming back just like a true champion. 28 titles. He won his 28th just a week ago. 4-time PBA Player of the Year. Started off slow, 28th, at least by Walter Ray Williams standards, and then moved up 8th after round 2, 3rd, and then just took over. This is a championship match. We still have the National Finance Challenge upcoming, and Walter Ray able to kick it all out, and the 7 included.
And now Walter Ray with the 5-pin lead, and Amleto Monacelli up on lane 72 to try and answer back. You know, watching Walter bowl, it reminds me of watching Earl Anthony bowl back in the 70s. Just automatic. He just knocks down more pins than anybody else. Just great player.
Of course, the great Earl Anthony, winner of 41 national titles.
Monacelli, though, after a 3-bagger, then an open, come right back with a strike.
He puts it out of his way. Doesn't think about it. He left the 210 the last time, but now back solid in the pocket. Great mental game. Both of these bowlers have great attitudes, and it's really one of the reasons why they're so darn good. Physical ability, not enough to be a consistent winner on the tour. You must have a good mind.
Monacelli can take the lead back.
And has it. A strike. Monacelli and Walter Ray Williams Jr. going at it here in the title match of the National Finance Challenge at Woodland Bowl in Indianapolis. Back with the conclusion in a minute.
But take a look at the diverse styles of Amleto Monacelli and Walter Ray Williams. First, Amleto, watch the way he opens up his shoulders. That enables him to get a lot of fingers and wrist into the ball, make the ball hook back for the strength. Now, Walter Ray, he's more closed as he walks up the line, more in control. He's an accuracy player. Both great players.
2 different styles, 2 champions, 2 PBA Hall of Famers, 2 former PBA Player of the Year. Walter Ray Williams Jr. in the 6th frame, working on a double.
Boy, Walter, and the better you get, the more fortunate you are sometimes. Came in light in the pocket, but got them all down.
Going back and forth, 5-pin advantage. For Deadeye, 9-19 with a 219 average in 28 appearances. There's a top seed. But some players have bowled some big games against him.
Brian Voss did it earlier in the fall. Walter Ray showing the emotion and verbalizing the emotion. Watch this ball as it comes in light in the pocket. Got the angle. He's got the speed, and he's got them all 10 down.
Amleto down by 15. Coming back, not enough. 2-8.
Well, not only does the lead go to 17 pins for Walter Ray, but things are getting a little late. As you can see, the ball coming in a little bit light. The 2 and the 8 standing, and a spare that you must show a lot of attention toward.
It's not a gimme.
Now hook. Just enough.
Monacelli, spare in the 7th.
Doesn't look like it's going to make it, does it, Phil? In fact, you'd swear it wouldn't, but touch the 2, drive the 8. And now think about throwing a strike on lane 71 as he trails by 17. Amleto Monacelli, 17 down.
Monacelli 62 and 65 with a 213 average and 79 appearances on television. Comes right back, kicks out the 10.
You may want to think about taking that watch off. Watch the ball as it drives back in. The head pin goes to the sideboard. The same friendly kick as the messenger comes on, takes care of it. And excitement. Walter Ray Williams Jr. trying to make it 29 first place finishes to 30 seconds. His goal to even that up, and I wouldn't bet against him.
Loves to pitch horseshoes, chess, computers. Right now, trying to stare down all 10 of those pins standing up.
Well, fortunate, he knocks the 5 and the 8 out of the 2-4. It was the bucket for a while, a difficult spare. Now it's just the 2 and the 4. It shouldn't be any problem for Walter Ray Williams Jr.
Again, very difficult to win back-to-back tournaments out here on tour. Walter Ray has an opportunity to do it.
Well, it's just tough to win any tournaments out here. There's a lot of talent, very, very deep, and Walter, he takes care of the 2 and the 4. You know, he throws the ball very straight and almost chops the 2 straight back off the 4.
Monacelli will stand up in the 9th frame, down by 25. He can cut it into that lead with a strike.
Desperately needs this one. Here she comes, the same one. He's getting a bunch of those. Head pin off the sideboard right into the 10 pin. And we've got ourselves quite a final match now.
15-pin advantage. And Monacelli will finish this match first.
What a great reaction. Oh, yeah. Again, thank you.
Possible 242 for Monacelli. Possible 247 should Walter Ray Williams strike out.
Well, Monacelli needs 2 strikes in the 10th frame to force Walter Ray to get 2. He needs the first strike in the 10th frame to make Walter march. Well, that'll force him to march, Phil. You know, in talking with Brian Voss earlier, we discussed how the lanes weren't very accommodating, but these 2 great champions have figured them out. We take a look. Monacelli trailing by 5 with a strike here in his second ball in the 10th. That would become a +5.
Monacelli, second ball in the 10th frame. Once again, a possible 242. But Walter Ray still has an opportunity to step up there and win it.
Hurry up. Did not get off his hand the way he wanted it. He leaves the 10 pin, breaks the 2 out of it. Right now, count doesn't really mean that much. If he makes this, it's 231. If he misses at 230, Walter Ray would just need to make a mark with good count in the 10th frame to win.
Nice effort by Amleto Monacelli, and it may be good enough. We don't know yet. Walter Ray Williams needs a mark. 231 for Monacelli here in the title match.
Needs to fill 15 pins in the 10th frame, so an 8-count spare and 7, that's 15. Any way he can do it, he'd like to strike right here and get it over with. It's going high.
Able to kick it out.
Very fortunate. There's your champion, Walter Ray Williams Jr., 29 PBA titles.
Back-to-back championships for Walter Ray. 29 titles.
Only got the ball to hook. Come on.
Almost hooked too much, Walter.
Needs 5 pins on 2 balls. I think.
Well, I think he can take care of that. And Page right now is smiling as it's just the 4 pin.
So Walter Ray Williams Jr. is the winner of the National Finance Challenge. We're not done yet. We have another match coming up. And Walter Ray getting ready for one more match. He's already won the National Finance Championship, but a challenge match against Brian Voss coming up.
Take a look at some other finishers. Parker Bone narrowly missed making his 7th finals. Bowler of the Year honors don't look so good right now for him. Dave Traber, he won earlier in Peoria. There's Chris Barnes, the talented rookie, yet to make a top 5, and the great John Mazza. He didn't defend his title, but he was close. Rich Wolf, he's had a high finish of 7th this year. And Ryan Schaefer, the 87 PBA Rookie of the Year. Kevin McGear, he won the National Resident Pro Championship back in '91. And John Barley, a local player who's having a pretty good sophomore season on our tour. Lonnie Wallachek, another up-and-comer looking for his first title. And Billy Orlikowski, now a part-time player who made match play. Eugene McCune, he finished 16th. Solid competitor, always a threat, throws the ball like a bullet. And there's the great Pete Weber. He'll be inducted into the PBA Hall of Fame in just a couple of weeks. Curtis Odom bowled one of the 300 games this week, and a former Steve Nagy Sportsmanship winner. And Jeff Lizzie, his only title came back in '91. That was the Brunswick Memorial World Open. Justin Romick, he qualified 24th, and then he defeated alternate Mark Williams in a 1-game roll-off. And Warren Guernsey, he started out pretty tough, but he sort of fell back towards the end. Paul Kaler, disappointing finish for him. He had things going early as well. And Mike Miller, he finishes 23rd from Albuquerque. He bowls without his thumb. And there's the Hall of Famer Mark Roth. Mark's daughter won a top figure skating competition, and with hopes of a possible berth at the Olympic Games. And there's our alternate, Mark Williams.
Well, the Pro Bowlers Tour on ESPN wraps up its fall season with the last 3 shows of the year. Next Wednesday, 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific, Brian Voss will defend his title at the Brunswick Circuit Pro Bowling Classic from Wichita, Kansas. Saturday, November 14th, the tour heads to the Far East for the Japan Cup at 5 Eastern, 2 Pacific. And Sunday, November 22nd, it's the most prestigious event in bowling, the Brunswick World Tournament of Champions. So we still have some exciting bowling left for you here on ESPN. Now we're set for this championship match. Walter Ray Williams going up against Brian Voss. Voss won earlier this year in Virginia Beach in the National Finance Championship. Walter Ray wins the second tournament for the National Finance Group. And so we have our challenge match, $10,000. Winner takes all. And a little bit high to start with a 4-pin.
Walter's kind of begging a little bit for that to fall over. And by the way, Walter Ray Williams just took over the leading money winner position for this year's tour. Parker Bone at 175,000 plus. Walter Ray now at 191 as he takes a look at that 4-pin and knocks it down.
Interesting year. Marshall P. Weber started off hot. Looked like Parker Bone midway through the year really was going to win Player of the Year honors.
Well, he certainly put himself in a great position, and there have been bowlers who have not bowled as good as Parker Bone and have won Player of the Year, but, you know, it's just a matter of Walter having a better year.
And Parker may still do it. Still got a couple tournaments left as Brian Voss comes out the gate with a strike. And Voss didn't bowl real well this week.
No, this has not been a condition that Voss has been shining on. He had trouble in the qualifying, did not make it to match play, did not cash, but he's hung around Indianapolis the last few days, looking forward to whomever he was going to bowl against.
Up in the second frame, Voss defeated Walter Ray. earlier on this fall. He's cashed in 11 of 22 events.
Boy, with shots like that, you wonder how come he didn't make the cut. That was a heck of a match he had with Walter Ray, 265, 257 in Virginia Beach. Watch the ball make the hard turn into the pins. And the great reaction from Brian Voss as he was able to get them all down. Now Walter Ray leaves the 2 and the 7. And you think maybe a little bit of a letdown after winning a tournament.
So Walter Ray in the second frame trying to pick up the 2-7.
That's why they call him Deadeye, Phil.
All right, come on. That'll be something here.
Trying to get himself pumped up. Voss with a double. Williams with a couple of spares.
Walter's 10, 12 pins down. We'll see what he has to say about this shot.
Wow.
I think he's happy he won the tournament right now.
Well, he is, but he's not willing to give up that extra 10,000 too soon. And he chops the 2 right off the 5-pin. Brian Voss finds himself 27 pins in the lead.
Voss picked up his 20th career title earlier this year when he beat Walter Ray in Virginia Beach, and he's up in this challenge match. Coming back, sets it in the pocket, and a 3-bagger.
That's perfect.
You'd have to agree as you watch the ball roll down the lane. Hey, Brian, that's perfect.
Voss from Atlanta, Georgia. Been out here for a number of years. Inducted into the Hall of Fame in '94.
Uh-oh.
That was close. That was close to 0. I'm sorry.
Watch how close this ball gets to the channel. It's on the 1 board, and it comes back, and Brian Voss, as you can see the reaction, he knows he's in trouble. Oh, well, maybe not.
Voss with 4 strikes to start this challenge match. Walter Ray. Strikes in the 4th.
Guess I had to move. Boy.
Well, you heard it from Walter. The lanes changed. They transitioned.
Oh, well, that worked over here.
Career money leaders, Walter Ray on top. And we had to get that up there because Marshall's going to be fading fast, so we wanted to. Brian Voss, 5th.
A lot. Wow.
Yeah, just the 2
Plenty of
pins.
hang time. Jeez,
Yeah.
where'd that come from?
Well, Walter can't be feeling too bad right now, but he'd like to make a match out of this. He makes the 2-pin, but right now it's a 47-pin lead for Brian Voss. Brian taking a little piece of tape out of the fingers. Doesn't quite like the way the ball feels.
Boy, he threw that one out the last shot.
Well, it'll be interesting to see what he does when he gets back on lane 71.
Makeup call.
Well, not unusual. You throw the ball well to the right, and then you throw a little bit left to compensate. Needs to get the ball over in here and knock that 4-pin into the 10. He hits a little too much of it.
Open in the 5th for Brian Voss. So midway through this challenge match, Walter Ray Williams down 33, but he's not out. Voss, 12 straight years he has won a PBA title. He's won a PBA title each year in 12 straight years. As he strikes in the 6th, only Earl Anthony has done better with 14 years that he amassed at least one PBA title. Brian Voss up by 33. Walter Williams in the 6th frame of this challenge match. Winner take all.
To jump a little harder than that. Solid 9 for Walter Ray, and it does make it easier since he just won the tournament to have a couple bad breaks, but
boy, a solid twirling 9 as he picks up the spare.
Walter doesn't like to lose at anything he does. I've watched him hit horseshoes and play a little golf with them.
From his left. Let's try right.
Going to go back out to the right, throw the ball harder and more direct. He's a competitor.
Back up. Yeah!
Come on, Walter, loosen up a little bit.
Strike in the 7th frame for Walter Ray.
Hey, makes a nice delivery this time, and the 8-pin, well, it just barely falls over. Get excited, Walter.
Voss can make it a double. Having some fun.
Looks like Brian has the one on his side.
Again, Brian didn't bowl well this week. Comes out and he has 6 strikes in 7 frames here in this winner-take-all challenge match.
Now Brian using a different ball than he used throughout the entire week. Maybe he wishes he'd have had that ball earlier in the week.
8th frame, got it out. Here it comes. Get that. Well, I'm glad he stuck around to bowl this challenge match. Once again, Walter Ray Williams won the National Finance Championship title just moments ago. Now this is a challenge match. Walter Ray. With a double.
And having some fun out there as well.
Can I take the first 5 over?
I think that's a no.
No mulligans. Walter Ray in the 9th frame. Once again, Brian Voss won earlier this year in the National Finance Challenge in Virginia Beach. Walter Ray won this tournament this week. So they're going at it with a challenge match. And Walter Ray with a 3-bagger.
And Walter Ray making Brian Voss show up in the 9th and 10th frame. Right now, Brian Voss working at a 2:36 pace. Walter Ray a chance for 2:22 if he strikes out. So all you need are spares right now, Brian. That was very fortunate.
The towel has been thrown in.
What's wrong with that? What do you want me to do? What do you want me to do?
Take a look at this splatter shot, Phil. Headpin's going to go to the sideboard, and it's going to do a lot of damage. Now you need 6 pins for the next couple of shots to win.
That was a pretty shot. Brian Voss is the winner of this challenge match. He can finish with a 266. 222 possible for Walter Ray Williams.
You guys want another one? You want a good one?
That's a good one.
As we watch 2 of the more withdrawn players on our tour having some fun with each other.
I got to keep my average up against the yes. You said 266 last time. Yeah.
So Brian Voss with just the 1 bad frame. He opened in the 5th, the rest strikes. He fires a 266. He wins the challenge match